Good afternoon, SJSH, and those interested in SJSH. My name is Cheryl McKee. I'm the principal here at St. Jude Scholars Hall School, and I've decided to give an FAQ video on just some of the most frequently asked questions that I get here while I'm giving parents a tour of the school. So to start, one of the most frequent questions is our daily schedule. So here at St. Jude Scholars Hall, our daily schedule is set very specifically every single day. So classes start at 8:30. That's when O Canada is played. Drop-off time in the morning can be as early as 7 o'clock. There isn't a before care, but it is not structured. Students are coming in. No students wait outside. The teachers are in the building. The administration is in the building, so students just come right in. And so they would either go to their class or they come to the front office and they kind of hang out with us at the administration. But classes start at 8:30. We recommend that drop-off time, again, either anytime after 7 o'clock. And then the perfect sweet spot for drop-off for parents is about 5 to 8 to about 5 after 8. So 7:50 to 8:05. That is a perfect time to drop off your children. They have more than enough time to get to their class, to talk to their friends. Should they miss a piece of homework, they can get it done in that time period. If you're dropping off after 8:15 or after 8:10, first, there's going to be a long lineup waiting for parents. You might be backed up to the road. Second, you won't have time to get your child into class on time. So if you're arriving at 8:15 into our parking lot and you're gonna sit for 5, 6, 7 minutes, by the time you get to the front, now your child has to scramble to get in, to get to class, to make it to class by 8:30, and that just sets their day off. If you're running late or you're just getting to class on time, you're scrambled, you're missing things, you've missed a notebook, you didn't ask the teacher the question that you'd hoped to ask them before class started. So do your child a favor and get here 7:50, 7:55, 8 o'clock, 8:05. Those are the perfect times to get your child here for the day. So first period starts at 8:30, and for JK to grade 8s, it is language class. So in language class, they'll be doing structured activities around literacy, cursive writing, understanding oral comprehension, paragraph writing, everything that is around the English language. So that goes from 9:50 until, 8:30 to 9:50. At 9:50 is our first recess break. So students would be heading outside from JK to grade 8 for their recess. Now the youngest grades do have a structured snack time built in just before the recess break. So approximately 9:40, 9:45 is when JK to about grade 2, grade 3 is going to have a structured snack break so that they can eat a little something before they head out to recess. Recess goes from 9:50 to 10 after 10. When they come back in, by the time they line up and come back in, it is usually around 10:15, and the next period starts at 10:15. And for across the board, JK to grade 8, that is math class. So math starts at 10:15 as soon as recess is over, and you will see a same structured math class in all the grades. So there will be typically a warm-up that's going on, a lesson that will happen, practice questions that will happen. Students will be working out of a textbook. They'll be preparing for unit tests, practicing, and so math is very traditionally taught. Parents like to hear that we're still teaching long division, that they're still teaching double-digit multiplication the way that they understand it. It is not a discovery-based math. It is a teacher-directed math program. So children will get direct instruction how to do the math application and then lots of practice on that math application before they have an assignment or a math test. Then it is lunch. So lunch goes from 11:30 to 12:30. The first half an hour is eating time. The second half an hour is outdoor recess time. When lunch is over, in the JK years, we have a structured nap time, a structured quiet time. So quiet time for JK starts at 12:30 and goes until approximately 10 after 1, quarter after 1. Some JK students are still quite young and they're still napping. They still need that time to rest and relax. Other JK students are just using the time as downtime. They don't actually need to nap, but that downtime in the middle of the day is very important because we work them hard. And so for senior kindergarten up, from SK to about grade 4, right after lunch is rotational block. So rotational block means that that's the additional curriculum that we have. So for example, Mondays might be gym class, Tuesdays might be French class, Wednesdays might be gym class. Now, every day would change, but every Monday would be the same, every Tuesday would be the same. And so that is from senior kindergarten up to about grade 4. Grades 5 to grade 8 in that time period, that is your social studies, your social studies block. And we call it social studies, but really it's a breakdown between history, geography, and science curriculum. So a portion of the year will be dedicated to science. About a third of the year is going to be dedicated to science. And so they will do and complete the full science curriculum. Then they will move on to their geography curriculum. Then they would move on to their history curriculum. Now I said it in that order, but it might be in a different order. It's still those 3 subjects, but it's the geography, the history, and the science. And they will rotate through those blocks in thirds of the school year. Once rotational / social studies block is over, there is another recess break. So recess time goes from 1:50 to 2:10. And so students again are outside running around and getting some fresh air. And then the last block of the day is reversed. So if you had a rotational block in period 3, your 4th period of the day is your social science, history, geography block. And if you had social science, history, geography in the first after lunch, then you'd have your rotational block after this. Now, something's a little different from our grade 5 to grade 8 is we actually have a 5-day rotation in our rotational block. And so it wouldn't be every single Monday would be the same thing. So day 1 might be day 1 might be French, day 2 might be computers, day 3 might be art, day 4 might be music. So we have a 5-day rotational period that goes from Monday to Thursday. On Fridays, and so this is across the board as well, but on Fridays from 1:30 to 2:30 in our elementary program, we have structured leadership lessons going on at that point. And so our additional curriculum in our leadership is focused on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. It's an incredible program for both adults and children alike, but we are teaching the 7 habits to our children, and we are using the language of the 7 habits all the time throughout our school year. So if something happens in class or if there's an issue, you're going to hear us say, think win-win, or be proactive, or sharpen the saw. We're going to be using the terminology with the kids, and students that have been with us over a number of years, you see such a change in who they are because they are really developing their own personal skills, and that is directly through our leadership program. So day ends at 3:30 for our elementary program. We do have aftercare till 5:30. There's an additional cost for our aftercare. I'll talk about that when we get to tuition expenses. And so for pickup time then, do not come at 3:30. 3:30 is the worst time you can come. 3:10 is the worst time. 3:20 is the worst time. Don't come then. You're just going to be blocking up our parking lot, sitting in a parking space, and now creating a backlog in our lot. Your child is not ready to be picked up at 3:30. They're still working in their class at 3:20, 3:25. It's 3:30 when the bell goes, and that's when the teacher says, all right, pack it up and start heading out. They need 15-20 minutes to go to their locker, to get a drink, to talk to their friends, to make sure they've clarified their homework with their teacher, to get everything they need to get before they're ready to even be outside. Don't even plan to be here until 3:45, 3:50, 3:55. Then your child is going to be waiting for you. Happy as punch with their backpacks on, ready to be picked up. You're going to drive in, they're going to hop in, and off you go. Versus coming early, you're going to sit in a parking lot and you're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And who likes to sit and wait in traffic? Not me. So don't come at that point, please. Now, if your child is in aftercare, it does go till 5:30. That is a hard 5:30. Please do not extend aftercare. There is additional fees and costs per minute if you are late. But there is aftercare until 5:30 should you need it. So that is a rundown of our day. So the next question that is really typical of the new parents that are coming in is, what is the curriculum that you follow? So our curriculum is based on the Ontario curriculum. So that is our starting point. That is the first step that we have with our curriculum. But that is not the be all and end all of it. So many parents question and wonder why and how we do our placement of our students. From junior kindergarten to grade 8, the curriculum is a continuation of skills. You start the skill in kindergarten, and the hope is that by the time you're in grade 8, you've mastered those skills. And so it is a continuation of skills. Anybody who has children in the elementary years knows that you cycle through the exact same units over every single year. And so you do fractions. You start fractions around grade 2 here, and you'll see it in grade 3, and you'll see it in grade 4, and you'll see it in grade 5, and grade 6, and grade 7. It just continues to build on your understanding of fractions when you first introduced it. And again, you continue to use that skill of fractions into high school. And so the Ontario system is built on this continuation of skill mastery. So when a student comes into us, I do some testing with them, either myself or Tanya Farrell or Fred Gore, and one of us will look at their achievement. We use the Woodcock-Johnson standard normed achievements, and it gives us an idea of where they are sitting academically in areas such as oral comprehension, reading comprehension, math applied word problems, calculation skills, all across the board in that way. And so we can say, all right, this child that's going into grade 4 really appears a little bit more like a grade 5 student, or needs some support and is looking a little bit more like a grade 3+ student. Or, wow, their math skills are strong, they're actually achieving in grade 6, but their language skills are a little more typical and they're achieving around a grade 4 level where their age grouping should be. That helps us to know where we place them and where I can put them on that continuation of skill building. And so when they come in, I would have them in perhaps one class for language and one class for math. And that's why everybody across the board from JK to grade 8 is doing language and math at the exact same time period. Because I could have a student who's doing language with one teacher and math with another teacher. And it just depends on where their skills are. So then our curriculum continues with heavy academics in that path, but then also this whole leadership soft skill development. We have a very heavy focus on personal skill development, time management, organization, manners. I don't know where that went out the window, but children here are expected to please and thank yous, no sir, yes ma'am kind of manners here. And you will, if a child has not done that, we will stop them, ask them, and model it for them. I just did this the other day with a student that I was walking through a door and they were walking ahead of me, and this child walked through the door and just let the door close on him. And I went, no, come on back. This is how you do it, sir. And so I had showed him how to open the door and look behind and then see me and then hold the door for me. And then I walk through and then he walked through. We modeled that a few times because now he'll know how to do the door properly. If we as adults don't model this behavior and we don't expect this behavior, children just won't naturally develop it. And so a large part of our curriculum is that soft skills social development that we have. Coupled with that, and I haven't talked too much about high school, but I'm getting to the high school schedule, but coupled with that is we are a 0 cell phone school. We have always been a cell phone school. Parents have asked us, and well, how did you implement that? We did implement it. We implemented it back in the 1980s when the flip phones and those things first came out. We have always been a no cell phone school because we know that cell phones are highly addictive and also highly interrupted to a child's day. And some parents ask and say, well, how do you find the children follow that? Actually, the kids follow it pretty easily. You know who doesn't follow it? You. You don't follow it. You are the ones that are calling and texting your child during the school day. And if you are calling or texting your child during the school day and it is being interruptive, I will be calling you to tell you how to get a hold of your child during the school day. I tell parents all the time, pretend like it's 1982 and 1992. If you need to get a hold of your child during the school day, what do? You call the school. So if you call the school and you ask and you say, did Johnny bring his soccer cleats to school? Because we have to go to soccer practice right afterwards. One of the admin team will go up and we will chat with little Johnny and we will see if he has soccer cleats with him, and then we will get back to you. Please don't interrupt his learning day because it's so disruptive for him and everybody else. Plus, if we see his cell phone or we hear his cell phone, we will be taking it away. And we don't give it back to Johnny at the end of the day. We give it back to you, parents, because you are the ones that own the cell phone, not him. 13, 14, 15-year-olds cannot enter contracts with cell phone companies. Only parents can. So they own their cell phones, not you. If you are interested in more of our cell phone and technology policy, I highly recommend that you look up Paul Davis. You follow him on social media. Perhaps I'll put a link down here so that you can take a look at him. He is highly instrumental in helping us guide what our technology program and how we do things here, and also how I do things as a parent myself. So that is a look into our curriculum. So the next one is aftercare, before care, and transportation. So I have talked a bit about aftercare and before care. A lot of parents want to know about transportation. We don't actually have transportation at this point. Our catchment for the school is actually very large. We have students coming from New Hamburg, from Woodstock, from Oxford County, Guelph area, all over the Kitchener-Waterloo region, Doon, Conestoga, North Waterloo, and because we have such this large catchment area, it is incredibly difficult to offer scheduled busing and transportation because of how large our zone is. So it is reliant on parent transportation to and from the school. Now, if a parent is really struggling, they just let us know, and what we do is we connect you with families that are living in and around the same area, and we help to establish carpooling for those areas. So as a new family, if you're struggling, please just reach out to me and I will do my absolute best to assist you with that. The next one is yearly calendar and semesters. So I'll talk a little bit about that high school schedule in here. So our yearly calendar does go from September, just after Labor Day, to the end of June. We get off usually around June 20th, 21st, somewhere in there. So about a week before the public and the Catholic school boards. We actually have 3 semesters here, not just 2. So looking at that, that's more effective at our high school level. Our elementary schedule, because they're with one teacher throughout the whole year, it's not as obvious that we have 3 semesters. But at the high school level, it's very obvious that we have 3 semesters. So the first semester goes from September until Christmas break, so the winter break. They'll have 4 classes. The high school students will have 4 classes in that time period. And they will write exams at just before the Christmas holidays or the winter break, and then they have those 2 weeks at Christmas holidays, the winter break, completely off. So it's exactly the same as the college university semester. Our second semester starts right after the winter or Christmas break, right, usually the 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in there in January. And our second semester goes until mid-April. So our high school students are writing exams mid-April, again, usually somewhere between the 15th and 20th of April. That's usually where exams fall. And then we have a week off. We don't have a March break. We have an April break. So because we have the semester system that we do, we can't take a week off for our high school students because every course needs 110 course hours in order to qualify for a course as per Ministry of Education rules. So we don't take that 1 week off in March. We just transfer it to the end of April after exams are over. Everybody has a break at the end of April. It works out so much better for parents and students. April's a much better time to take off. The costs of travel are much lower. You're not competing for the airport and traveling in that way. And if you do stay home, the temperature at the end of April tends to be a lot nicer than the temperature in mid-March. So that is our year. Oh, and then we come back for a very short semester for our high school students in May and June. So it is a 2 credit semester. Our grade 9s and our grade 10s are taking 1 extra credit, potentially 2, based on how they did throughout the school year. So every grade 9 and 10 student will get 9 credits in a school year, potentially 10. How a student gets 10 credits in a school year at the grade 9 and 10 level is by achieving 80% or higher in both their math and their language. Because in the May-June semester, we have a bridge course. So the bridge course is not for credit. It's actually tacking onto their math and their English credits from the first 2 semesters. And it's designed to increase skills, to go over the curriculum again, to make sure that the math and English is solid and sound. Because as parents know that it went through the Ontario system, you might have math in first semester in your grade 9 year, and maybe not math again until your second semester of your grade 10 year. That's a long time to not have any math. And students that aren't reaching that 80% marker, they need a bridge course in between to make sure that they're going over their content and their material, they're upgrading anything. And so that bridge course is key. So students that don't have that marker of 80% in both their English and their math, take that bridge course in May and June, plus 1 additional elective. Students that do have 80% in their English and math in the full year have the option of taking another additional elective. So some students are getting 10 credits in a school year. So some students are able to fast track through our system. This also helps students that need a little bit more time. I do have some high school students that the semesters are just too quick. And for a subject like math and English, doing it only in a 4-month semester, the content just goes too quickly. So for some students, I stretch out the math or the English or another credit, and we start in September and we plan to end it in April. And so we take 8 months to go over the content instead. Now what happens is, because we have 3 semesters to play with, even though they've stretched out 1 or 2 credits, they can still be on track to graduating on time with their 30 credits because I have those 3 semesters. So this 3-semester system benefits high school students in a number of ways, and it's really unique. I'm really proud of it, and we've been doing it for the last 15-ish years, and it's been very successful. The next question is homework and extra help. So our homework policy for the school is 5 minutes times their grade, and that is school-wide. So yes, JKs will get some homework. They will have a homework book, and they will have about a minute or 2 of homework a day. You would be so excited to see the little JKs when they finish their homework and they run up to us and they show their book. Sometimes the JKs are practicing their penmanship where they're going over numbers or counting, but the rule is 5 minutes times your day. We check homework every single day. So every single day in every class, the first thing that we do is we check homework. And we're looking for 2 things. So we are looking to see that it's completed, but more importantly, we're looking to see that it meets the expectations and it's up to their potential. So I'll give you an example. Say the homework was an area and perimeter question. And so for parents that are not familiar with area and perimeter, or area, that's calculating the surface area of something on the inside. So if I wanted to do carpets, the formula is A equals length times width. So let's say a grade 6-7 teacher had 3 area and perimeter questions. And the child came back and had all 3 questions right, but it was written in their language book, or it was written in orange pencil crayon, or it was written on a ripped piece of paper and it was sideways. That child is going to get a homework strike because it doesn't meet our expectations. It needs to be in your math book, it needs to be dated and titled, it needs to be done in pencil, and it needs to have all 3 steps. A equals length times width, and then A equals plunk in the numbers, and then A equals answer, and make sure it's in units squared. And so we would have a formula they'd have to follow as to what we'd expect to be done. So if a student has not finished their homework or has not chosen to meet the expectations, they will receive a homework strike. Homework strike is a little piece of paper, it's a little slip. Their name goes on, the date goes on, and then the homework expectation goes on it as well. It comes down to the office, and we keep track of how many homework strikes each child has. The first day you get a homework strike, you get a day's grace. So let's say Monday morning, you didn't finish a particular piece of homework. The teacher is going to say to you, Susan, I'm sorry you didn't get your area and perimeter homework done. You have a homework strike, this needs to get completed. Do you understand what you have to do? Tell me what you need to do, Susan. Susan articulates and says, okay, we all know now, okay, Susan has a good idea of what she has to do. So the next day she comes in and we have the homework strike sitting in front of us, and as a classroom teacher, I'd say, all right, Susan, take out that homework. Did you get it done? Are you able to show me? One of 2 answers are gonna happen. Either, yep, here it is, Mrs. McKee, here's my homework. Great. I look it over and I make sure it meets my expectations. If it does, that's the end of the homework trial. If it doesn't, Susan, you're still missing this. Or Susan, you still didn't get it done. It's still written in orange pencil crayon, and my expectation was that it's written in pencil. So I'm changing that homework strike from a first strike to a repeat strike. Now Susan is required to go to homework club. Homework club is every single day from 12 until 12:30. It takes place during our lunch hour. During the announcements, students' names are announced and they are required to go. Attendance is taken. If Susan chooses not to show up, we'll find out in the office, and I'll go on a little Susan hunt, see where she is, and make sure that she goes to homework club. It is not intended to be a punishment. It's intended to be a consequence. You didn't finish your homework, or you chose not to, and here's some time and space to get it done. There is a teacher that's designated for homework club so that the students, if they have questions, they have an educator sitting in the room that they can ask. Now, Susan will go to homework club every single day until that homework is finished, or until Friday. Friday around here is called Stay Till It's Done Day. So if a student, let's say Susan, still doesn't have that one area and perimeter question done the way we'd like it, maybe she's just being a little stubborn. She's digging her heels in and she just doesn't want to do it. Well, Susan, that's okay. You can be stubborn, but I can be more stubborn. And so what we end up doing is we pull them out of class at 1:30, our leadership time. They go to a designated space again for homework club, and then they work on it. And the idea is that you have to finish this before you go home on Friday. Now, that's usually enough for students to buckle down and get it done because no one wants to stay here. I'm the one that stays after school on Friday so they get to spend time with me on Friday afternoons. And some kids like that, but some kids don't want to do that. And so if a child looks like they're going to take longer than the regular dismissal, that's why we pull them out during leadership time. It gives them that hour. Most of our students get it done within that time period. But there, every now and then, there's a student that either has chosen not to do it or maybe has a lot to do. I will call you throughout the morning and I will say, all right, Susan has this book report due, and it's going to take a little bit longer than an hour. I will ask you and say, are you able to pick Susan up at 4, 3:30, 4 p.m., 5 p.m.? We will arrange with you a time that you're able to pick up Susan. I will let Susan know, okay, we've extended your time here. Let's get this done. So what I ask of parents is, while I know there's going to be extenuating circumstances, I know there's going to be days that you're going to the airport and picking up grandma, or there's going to be days where you have a dinner reservation, or there's going to be days where it's like, this doesn't work for me right now. I understand those days. But on the days where you can make adjustments, please do. It sets such a message to your child that this is important, this is your job, you need to sit down and get this done, and then it's over. So Fridays stay till it's done day. Like I said, the vast majority of our students are finished their homework before they go home on Fridays. What that does is our homework schedule, it makes sure that no student is more than 1 week behind their homework. You'll never get to the point where you're at 2, 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, this was due last semester kind of thing, and you not knowing about it. Your child will never be more than 1 week behind on their homework, and our homework policy works for that. So speaking of a homework policy, the second part of that is that homework is needed to be done completely independently. And I know that there's going to be parents out there that are nervous and worried about that. They're saying, but my child can't do their homework. We make sure that the homework that goes home is able to be done completely independently by your child. And if that means we have to start small in small increments to create success with them, we will do that. But your job is to stay out of the homework. Homework is my job. Homework is not your job. Your job is a parent. My job is an educator. My job is the teacher. We take care of those things. So when you install, or when a child comes home and you say, all right, let's sit down, let's get our homework done. What do you have? Show me what you got. When you do all of those things, you are taking your habits and your routines and you are putting them on your child. Your child is not developing their own. They are using external habits for themselves. We have this whole system of homework club that will help them develop their own internal habits. We want to get to the point where if you happen to say, hey Susan, did you get your homework done? Oh yeah, it's done. It's already finished at school. Great. Now, Susan could be lying to you, but we're going to catch her. So if she doesn't have her homework done, we have that system in place that's going to catch her. If she does have her homework done, the burden is off of you. It takes the tears away. It takes the arguing away. It takes the crying away. It takes all that tension away. We do not expect you to do homework. And in fact, we ask you to stay out of the homework. There's a lot of kids that really love that policy because there's so much arguing and fighting at home over homework. And now it's simply, mom, dad, back off. We got it. You're okay. Just enjoy your kids. Get them to do their chores at home, those kinds of things. But homework, that's my job. You lay off and then I got them. So moving on to another question. Class size. Class size is always a big question that parents ask. Our class sizes are 16 students with with 16 students with one teacher, 2 teachers in kindergarten and senior kindergarten and junior kindergarten. And so you'll see 1 educator for 16 students. Now that is in our Scholars Hall programming. We have another program called St. Jude's, which is why we're St. Jude's Scholars Hall, SJSH. And our St. Jude's programming is designed for bright yet learning disabled students who need some extra attention. And so those class sizes can range anywhere from, I think my smallest class this year coming up is 6 students, and my largest class has 10. And that's with 2 educators. And so there's a special educator and an educational assistant or a teacher's associate that is in that classroom. And both educators are working with all of those students. So the largest ratio in a St. Jude's class would be 1 to 5, where the largest ratio in a Scholars Hall class is going to be 1 to 16. I'll talk about the division and what St. Jude's and Scholars Hall and what that means probably in the follow-up video. But just know that there are varying ratios in our school with teacher educators based on the programming of the child. A lot of students or parents are asking about school events, clubs, activities. We have quite a number of clubs and activities that take place throughout the school. Because we're a junior kindergarten and grade 12 school, we offer different age groupings for the different things. So we have arts-based clubs. We'll have drama, music, We'll have, some years we have dance, we've had cheerleading in the past. We'll have visual arts club, drawing, painting, etc. We will have athletic-based clubs, so anything from drop-in sports to teams. New this year of the 2024-25 school year is we are working with the Catholic School Board and joining in on their teams. So we will have a junior basketball team, a junior volleyball team. I think Miss Butcher is excited about a flag football team, or not flag football, I always say that. Excited about a ultimate frisbee team. And so our teams are beginning to come back after all of the COVID closures. And so I'm really excited to get that started again. And then we also have academic clubs. So we have STEM club and programming club. We had chess club. We had, I had a couple high school students last year have a geek squad where they just took apart computers and tried to fix them and put them back together again. It was so successful. Anyway, we offer lots of clubs and activities throughout the school year. One of our really popular clubs is our karate club. So Sensei Gore is our karate instructor. He's one of our middle school teachers. He teaches a grade 6-7 curriculum. And he is in Gojo-Ryu karate. Now, students that are in our karate club, there is a fee for that because you're entering into the organization. You're getting a gi, you're starting out with the belts. You are able to go up through your belts, enter tournaments. It is an incredible program and it's done all here in-house. So parents who are looking for that karate martial arts experience on, I don't remember which days it is, but I'll say Monday, Wednesdays, they just stay after school a little bit. They do it here. You have a later pickup. That way you don't have to pick them up, rush to get them home, rush to get to their karate program. It's just too much. And so we offer that on hand. We even offer some private music lessons. Miss Werner, or Chrissy Werner, is our music teacher here. She owns and operates Werner Music Studios just in the Pioneer Park area. She has offered private music lessons too that can take place either at lunchtime or after school. And so if your child is looking at piano lessons, vocal lessons, trumpet, violin, any number of instruments, guitar, she's able to teach that or arrange to have that taught here at the school. So again, you don't have to rush and pick them up, take them to music lessons. So that is an added benefit. So I've talked your ear off for about a half an hour. I'm going to leave it here. This is going to be part 1. I am going to make a part 2 video answering the rest of the FAQs. If none of these were your questions, watch part 2. If you still have questions after part 2, then please give us a contact. So my email is principal@sjsh.ca. So principal@sjsh.ca. And my name is Cheryl McKee. I'm the principal here. You can call me, email me. The phone number here at the school is 519-888-6620. So again, 519-888-6620. Call me if you have questions and if you'd like to set up a tour. I look forward to meeting you and learning more about your kids. Bye for now.